What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Just Your Average Cheese YouTube channel. Today we're going over the Week 4 review and the Week 5 preview in the Illinois Idiots. And let me tell you, Week 4 was not a good week for me. I'm sorry, I'm going to try to keep this episode short as life is kind of busy for me right now, but still going to try to keep consistent with this. So looking into our first matchup, we had the Old Goat going up against your Rain City Bitch Pigeons, and a giant rivalry week for seeing who would be the Alpha Thomas. And the Old Goat came away. It was 133.4 to 85.3. Guys, this one wasn't even close. The Old Goat was led by Nick Chubb, who had 39.3 points, as well as the Patriots defense, who had another 23, and his kicker, Matt Gay, who had 15. His lowest performer was Adrian Peterson, who only got him 2.8 points, but he still put up 133. Meanwhile, on the Rain City Bitch Pigeon side, my highest score 22.5 from Jacoby Brissett. Alvin Kamara had almost 12. Josh Jacobs had almost 13. Odell Beckham Jr. only had 4. Sammy Watkins had 6.4. Marquise Brown had 6.2. The Packers defense, which had been reliable all year up until the Thursday night game — I hate Thursday night games — got me negative 1 points. But, as they say, you just got to put this week behind you. I'm down 1-3, so my back's up against the wall now. I got to go on a nice little streak, and hopefully we can start it next week. That moves the Old Goat to 2-2, and he's starting to go on a little bit of a roll here, like I said he would. Next, our matchup is the Effingham Titans versus the Green Bay Pack Attack, where the Effingham Titans pulled off what some would consider an upset, winning 113.2 to 100. The Titans were led by James Conner, who got him 26.5, as well as Will Lutz, who had 14 points, Matt Ryan, who had 15.6, and Ezekiel Elliott, who had 16.5. The Pack Attack, they had Patrick Mahomes get 18 and Aaron Jones get 17.8, but the big things that held them back, as well as Devontae Adams getting 28, but what held them back was Marlon Mack getting 3.9, Adam Thielen getting 2.6. I wouldn't expect a low-scoring stuff from the Pack Attack like this again. The Effingham Titans capitalized on an opportunity that they got, and it moves them to 3-1, and moves the Green Bay Pack Attack down to 3-1. Overall, I wouldn't be too concerned about the Pack Attack. If you are, I think they're still going to do fine. I think the Effingham Titans are going to go back on an upswing and start a nice run as well. Next matchup, we had 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink, facing up against Deshaun of the Dead, and Deshaun of the Dead winning 124.7 to 110. Deshaun was led by Austin Eckler, who had 29.2, Darren Waller, who had 12.3, James White, who had 13.8. The Bears' defense was 16 points, as well as Greg Zuerlein, who had 13. Meanwhile, with the stink, you had Russell Wilson, who had 14.3 points. Todd Gurley had 26. Gallman had 27.8. But after that, his only person above 10 was TJ Hawkinson, who had 11.7. In the end, still a lot of points put up by 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink. I wouldn't be. Again, he's putting up great point production. He's just getting up against bad matchups. And Deshaun the Dead just trying to get back. And I think he still has one of the more solid rosters on here, and is going to keep on rolling. Next, you had a really close matchup here with I'm a Lumberjackson going up against Philip Rivers' Child Army. You had I'm a Lumberjackson winning 109.1 to 104.8. And man, I'm a Lumberjackson was bailed out by his running backs. Christian McCaffrey had 33.9 and David Johnson had 21.9, as well as Kerryon Johnson having 15.7. Because outside of that, you had Hardman, who had 0.9 points, Philip Dorsett, who had 3.9, Jelani Walker, who had 1.4. What really hurt Philip Rivers' Child Army is the only reason why I'm a Lumberjackson is even undefeated still, was Case Keenum getting negative zero point 0.5 points because he got hurt right after he threw an interception and everything, and that was pretty much the only reason why he has a victory here. But as they're going to say, a win's a win. Still, Philip Rivers' Child Army, Devontae Freeman had 18, Carson had 18.5, Kupp had 26.9, the Allen Robinson had 14.7, the Chargers D got him 12. So all in all, he's not doing bad. Next, we move on to the matchup where the Toledo Woodpeckers took on First and Ben, and a matchup of teams that were had no wins at the time, and First and Ben gets his first win of the year, winning 146.1 to 97.5. Ben was led by Leonard Fournette, who had 26.5, as well as Robert Woods, who had almost 30, Carson Wentz having almost 20, Michael Thomas having almost 19, and Will Disley almost having 19. Not a bad performance for the Woodpeckers, though. Jared Goff had almost 21. Chris Godwin had 41.2, and Kenyon Drake had 10.3. So First and Ben gets his first win of the year, and the Toledo Woodpeckers keep looking for their first win of the year. And on to our final matchup of the week. We had Machine Gun Kelsey going up against Slob on My Cobb, with Slob on My Cobb winning 100.9 to 93.6. Cobb was led by Jarvis Landry, who almost had 25 points, Derrick Henry, who almost had 12, Eric Ebron, who almost had 12 as well, and the Panthers D, who had 15. Meanwhile, Machine Gun Kelsey had almost 21 points from Phillip Rivers, had 19 points from Mike Evans, 15.5 from Travis Kelsey. What hurt him big was that the Baltimore Ravens had negative 6 points. A quick look at the standings here after 4 weeks of play. Over in the East, we have Slob My Cobb on top with 4-0. Green Bay Pack Attack at second at 3-1. You have a tie for third with Shaun of the Dead and Old Goat, both at 2-2. Your Rain City Bitch Pigeons at 1-3, and the Toledo Woodpeckers at 0-4. Meanwhile, in the West, you have I'm a Lumberjackson sitting on top at 4-0, Effingham Titans at 3-1, Machine Gun Kelsey at 2-2, and you have a three-way tie with First and Ben, 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink, and Phillip Rivers Child Army all at 1-3. So that was the recap for Week 4. We're now going to be doing our interview with Team the Old Goat, who had just beaten me in a rivalry week, and then we'll do our Week 5 preview. So sit tight and listen to the interview. All right, everybody, welcome back. That was our Week 4 preview. We're getting ready to do our Week 5 preview, but as always, we are bringing you into our weekly interview. This week, we have the person who had just beat me in our big rivalry week, and that is the owner of the Old Goat. So I will give you this quick little bit to just go ahead and gloat right off the front part.
Well, I'm not going to gloat. I mean, it's probably the first time I've beaten you since we've been in this league. So I think the first 2 years you thumped me pretty good, and you didn't gloat over me. So I will be the same, I guess. I should gloat because I don't have much to brag about, but we'll hold off on that.
The humble in victory and humble in defeat as well. I see how it is.
I don't know about that whole humble and defeat crap either, so we'll just go from there.
Well, so looking at your team, you're what, 2-1, 3-1 now, aren't you?
Or, I'm 2-2.
You're 2-2?
Yeah.
So you're still right there on that race. Solid run here puts you up in the top. Do you think you have the type of team to go in there and try and make that type of run?
I do. I think I've got some guys that are hurt or suspended that I think are about to come back. I get Tyreek Hill back here in the next couple of weeks. He was my number 1 pick this year. And I lost him that first week there at Jacksonville. He broke his clavicle or whatever it was, and I have been without my best receiver, my big guy, all season so far. And I've been competitive even without him. So I think I'll be okay. I think I'm going to be okay. I took on the Pack Attack last week, and I held on pretty good without having I had some key players get hurt. And I stayed in the ballpark. And I think the Pack Attack and the Kelsey, Machine Gun Kelsey, probably the 2 better teams in our league. So if I can stay competitive until I get some of my guys hurt back to being healthy, I think I'll be okay.
And then I know you've got one big weapon on your roster that is in suspension right now, Kareem Hunt. But you also have Nick Chubb there. So how much of an impact do you think they're going to have on each other?
Chubb's going to lose a little bit of points there. But Kareem Hunt is a different type of back. Nick Chubb is, the grinder. He's going to be that first, second, maybe even a third down back. He's not much of a pass guy. They just like to hand him the ball and let him get his yards. Whereas Kareem Hunt's a little different. He's kind of like that Darren Sproles type player where they can throw him that screen pass 3 yards off to the side, and he'll scamper for 40 or 50 yards. So my plan is not to actually put him in the running back spot, but to put him in my flex, and then hope that if one goes off, the other can't. I can afford a little bit of a letdown from the other. Like Nick Chubb last week, he had a monster day.
It was insane. I think it was. That's what killed me. I really feel like it.
Yeah, well, that and my defense. People keep kind of saying the Patriot defense isn't very good, but they had a 36-point game for me this year. Let's look at them. They're averaging 19.8 points a game, and for me, that's ranked position number 1. So that's a monster thing to have. I didn't expect them to do that, I just wanted somebody who'd be steady.
Mm-hmm.
But they've averaged at least one pick every game, and I think the past two games they've had a couple touchdowns on defense. So to me, that's where you kind of start when everybody's really tight as far as team wise. It's those type of things that put you over that top because you're not expecting a defense to score 20 points a game, but that's where they're at.
I say when you got a defense that's scoring about the same as a top end wide receiver, it's a little crazy.
But it won't stay that way. And I know it won't stay that way. I just hope, like I said, I'm just kind of hoping, kind of tread water until I get Kareem back. I think he's back. He's in an 8-game suspension. And I think they got the bye right after that. So I think I get him back game 10. But the one I'm kind of interested about is the Juice from Washington. Somebody cut him, and I don't blame him. You don't want to keep that stuff on your roster, but he's a good running back. And they're talking about bringing him back mid-season. And I think they're about to have a major coaching change there. I think Gruden's going to get fired. So I expect them to have a different philosophy. And I'm hoping if Juice comes back, I got Nick Chubb, so I don't really need a 30-point back. What I need is a nice, consistent 10-point back. And I think that'll keep me pretty even.
Okay. So besides the Patriots defense, is there one person that's kind of surprised you, whether it be on the good end of the spectrum or the bad end of the spectrum?
Mark Andrews, my tight end. He's a tight end from Baltimore. I kind of picked him up. I didn't know a whole lot about him, but I had read in a couple articles where he and Lamar Jackson had developed a nice little repertoire going, nice little back and forth, and I thought, well, okay. I mean, Lamar Jackson, that type of offense, they don't have the big-time Tyreek Hill type wide receiver. They've got some good wide receivers, but they don't have that stud wide receiver. And I thought, well, if he's got this relationship with Mark Andrews, he's worth taking a shot at and seeing if he can do anything. I drafted him 85th, which was at the end of the draft. So, but it's kind of a chance. But he's averaging 16.9 points a game. He's been injured the past two games. He started off the season scoring 25 points a game. Again, I knew that wasn't sustainable, but I thought, man, if he could just keep me 12, 13 points a game, that's another wide receiver there that I didn't expect on. So he's my surprise player is Mark Andrews, the Baltimore tight end.
Alrighty. And so I guess the final question I have for you here is how far do you think your team can go with the roster you have versus the other rosters that are in the league?
You know, it's really going to come down to those guys that I don't have right now. It's going to come down to Tyreek Hill. Does he come back and with Patrick Mahomes, can they develop? Can he stay healthy? You got Sammy Watkins on that team. They're already, if not the highest scoring offense in the league, they're pretty close to it. If you're going to add Tyreek Hill there, who does he take away from? Or does Patrick Mahomes stay with what he's got and just try to filter in? So I could see Tyreek Hill coming back and not being the same Tyreek Hill. So if he comes back and he's the stud I drafted, then I'm in good shape. And if Kareem Hunt can come back and be the player that he has been since he's introduced himself to the league, I'll be okay. Like I said, I took Pack Attack, and I think I lost to him maybe 15 points. And I had two players that were hurt that week. Not making excuses or anything, but I think if I could have my legitimate lineup there, I think I could give Pack Attack and Machine Gun Kelsey a run. The only thing I'm concerned about is my running back positions. I have the stud Nick Chubb, but I don't have a secondary running back if Juice doesn't come back, which is a big if.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he gets back for you, and hopefully me and you can meet in the playoffs so we can have another round of rivalry week. But I guess for right now, you are the Alpha Thomas again. So,
well, what's this again? Garbage. Always the Alpha Thomas. I don't know where you're coming up with this idea that you somehow slipped to the Alpha Dog status.
I mean, if I beat you 2 years in fantasy football, I mean, to me, I feel like that puts me on the apex up there.
Okay. How many championships have you won?
Oh, I mean, I've won 0, but we're tied.
Oh, okay, so you've won just as many as I have. So to me, I'm not sure. Just because I started playing golf early doesn't mean anything. That first year, you were supposed to be the team to beat, and what round did you lose in?
I believe I lost in the first. Yeah, the
Yes,
first.
you lost in the first. So you won just as many playoff games that year as I did, and I didn't even qualify for the playoffs. So don't start with this whole alpha thing because you got. I think what's happened here is you got that Goodell virus going on where you think you're this super stud because you're the man, the Oz behind the curtain, but don't let that get to your head too much.
All right, well, I'm going to have to send this to the league, and the league's going to review it. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Vontez Burfict type suspension. So it was nice knowing you in the league.
Ouch!
Repeat offender of ruining the ego of the commish. You fight the ginger hammer, you get the ginger horns.
I'm going to have to stick your mother on you, aren't I?
She scares me, so please don't. She's like the J.J. Watt. It's just...
Exactly. I mean, you won't even see her coming. She'll just come around and you'll be...
Come around the blind side.
Around going, what happened?
All right. Well, thank you for coming, and hopefully we'll have you back on, and we'll see where the season goes for you.
All right, buddy. Take it easy over there in Illinois. California dreaming out here on the West Coast. And,
All right, everybody, and thank you for listening to that interview. Now we are going to be moving on to our Week 5 preview. So starting off, we're going to start off with the Green Bay Pack Attack facing your Rain City Bitch Pigeons. Right now, they have me winning 123.9 to 123.7. I firmly believe that this is going to be a really, really close matchup. I feel like he beats me in QB because obviously Patrick Mahomes is just a stud. I don't think Jacoby Brissett is on the same level as him. I believe Damian Williams is better than Royce Freeman, though. And I believe Alvin Kamara is better than Aaron Jones. When it comes to wide receivers, I've got Odell Beckham Jr. going up against his Montez Valdez-Scantling, and then Sammy Watkins going up against Robert Woods. You got Zach Ertz going up against Evan Ingram, Marquise Brown going up against Joe Mixon, the Packers D going up against the Cardinals D, and Mason Crosby going up against Justin Tucker. I do firmly believe that this is going to be an insanely close game. I'm going to go with me winning because, again, I can't go against myself winning. It'd be too weird for me. And hopefully this is going to be the start of a run for me. So like I said, I'm picking your Rain City Bitch Pigeons to beat the Green Bay Pack Attack. No bias. Next, we have Deshaun of the Dead going up against the Effingham Titans. So you got Deshaun Watson going up against Matt Ryan. You got Austin Eckler going up against James Conner. James White against Ezekiel Elliott. Juju Smith-Schuster against Keenan Allen. DJ Moore against Brandon Cooks. Darren Waller versus Jared Cook. Michael Gallup against Josh Gordon. The Bears D against the Bills D. Greg Zuerlein against Will Lutz. Currently, they have the Effingham Titans winning 121.7 to 114. And realistically, I could probably see that. I don't think Austin Eckler is going to get as many points now with Melvin Gordon coming back. I think this is going to be another one of those close matchups. It could be a coin toss to go against either way. But I'm going to stick with the Effingham Titans. I believe they advance to 4-1. Next up, you've got 2 in the pink and 1 in the stink facing the Old Goat. And man, is this just again, it's going to be another close one, I feel. You got Tom Brady going up against Kyler Murray. Todd Gurley going against Tevin Coleman. Wayne Gallum versus Nick Chubb. Amari Cooper and Julian Edelman. Tyler Lockett and Christian Kirk. Jared Everett versus Mark Andrews. Robbie Anderson versus Tyrell Williams. The Seahawks defense versus the Patriots defense. And Robbie Gould going against Joey Slaughter. All in all, again, I believe this is going to be another very close matchup here. Kind of looking at it, I just get this strange gut feeling that I think the Old Goat is going to win based off the fact that I think Nick Chubb is going to be a stud again. I think Julian Edelman is going to do well. And Mark Andrews, I think, is going to do well again. I mean, to me, I think the Old Goat gets another win. A theme you'll notice with this week's games are all of them, again, are going to be super, super close. This week we have Philip Rivers Child Army going up against First and Ben. They have Philip Rivers Child Army at 115.5 and First and Ben at 117.8. The matchups go like this. You got Jimmy Garoppolo going up against Carson Wentz, Devontae Freeman against Leonard Fournette, Chris Carson against Chris Thompson, Connor Kupp against Michael Thomas, Larry Fitzgerald against Adam Thielen, George Kittle against Austin Hooper, Allen Robinson against John Brown, the Chargers defense against the Titans defense, Zane Gonzalez versus Harrison Butker. My personal belief here is I think just get this feeling that the Philip Rivers Child Army is going to win. I think it's going to be led by the running backs and Connor Cuff. I think his running backs overall are better against First and Ben. But then again, First and Ben also has the better wide receivers. But sticking to my gut, I think Philip Rivers Child Army secures the win there. Next matchup we have here is actually kind of a weird matchup. They're undefeated and they share the same first name. But something's got to give here in the battle of the first name people and undefeated. So let's take a look at it. You got Dak Prescott going up against Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry going up against David Johnson, Philip Lindsay going up against Mark Ingram, Julio Jones against Tyler Boyd, Jarvis Landry against DeAndre Hopkins, Eric Ebron versus Delaney Walker, David Montgomery versus Miles Sanders, Panthers D versus 49ers D, Matt Bryan against Adam Vinatieri. Right now, ESPN has the point totals at Slot My Cobb at 117 and I'm a Lumberjackson at 119.8. Again, this is going to be another insanely close one. I'm actually going to be really interested in watching this one as well. Personally, though, I don't know what it is. I got the feeling I'm a Lumberjackson just continues his winning ways. I don't know. I think he's going to get bailed out by David Johnson, I get the feeling. But overall, I wouldn't be surprised if this matchup goes either way. And now on to our final matchup of the week, the game that isn't going to be very close at all. You got Machine Gun Kelsey going up against Toledo Woodpeckers. They have Machine Gun Kelsey winning 138.3 to 96.7. Matchups look like this. You got Philip Rivers going up against Jared Goff, Dalvin Cook against Tariq Cohen, Christian McCaffrey against Sony Michel, Evans against Godwin, Robinson against Metcalf, Kelsey against Eifert, Bell against Tate, Ravens D against the Rams D, and Maher against Fairbairn. I'll be honest, I'm giving the Toledo Woodpeckers almost no chance to win this. I know they say the win probability on ESPN is 66%. I'm giving it almost 100% victory here. I don't see, unless somehow like the Woodpeckers roster just goes off, I think the running backs are going to carry Machine Gun Kelsey here more than his wide receivers will. But in the end, I just get the feeling that Machine Gun Kelsey is going to pull out the victory. And that is our Week 5 preview. I want to thank you all for watching and listening, and hopefully we can have a better week for the Rain City Bitch Pigeons going into this week. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I appreciate it very much. I know I said this video is going to be a little bit shorter. I think it's going to be right about the average of how long these videos take. Again, thank you so much for listening, and don't ever forget, JAT is where it's at.